Hi, beautifuls. Today I want to speak to you about something that is super powerful and a big game changer in manifesting your reality. And it's all about alignment, compassion, and love, and all the beautiful things, and but how to get there, right? So I had a little activation the last few days, and I think it's really powerful to share like real experiences that are happening. Like right now, when I started to record this video, my dog's making noise. You know, sharing things as they come up that are real and they're true and they're authentic. And for me, the last few days, well, New Year's was magical. We had a gathering at our place here in Bali in Ubud, a very intimate gathering because you're only allowed to do very intimate gatherings right now. So we chose the most beautiful, sacred group of people to take the new year in with us. And then the next morning at 7 a.m. was woken up to construction noise directly next door. One of the most important things to me and my beautiful housemates, because we serve online, is to have silence. Also, so we can just be like in our bodies and just, too much noise just doesn't work. So this is one of the biggest questions I asked. And I asked the landlords, I said, will it be quiet? No, actually, sorry, I lied. They told me that there's no noise. I didn't even ask the question. They just came out with it. And they said that they'd lived here for 8 months and that there was only ever maybe once a month a tiny bit of noise from next door. But anyway, on New Year's Day, 7 a.m, we woke up and I'm like, oh wow, great timing. Start of the new year, but it won't last for more than an hour. Well, it went all day long until 6 p.m. Then again the next day on the 2nd. And again on the 3rd. So okay, we have a problem here. This isn't going to work for us living in this space. In particular, one of my housemates, she's right next door to it, and it's also that they're there. It's like it doesn't feel like it's privacy, and there's a lot of banging and sawing and all of that. So yeah, this happened to us. I'm like, wow, like why is this happening? Why does this experience come into our field? How did we create this? Because we're all about manifestation and creating our reality, and why did we choose to bring this into our experience? And I've been sitting with it. I definitely went through a period of being a bit of my victim and being like, why has this happened? And I've managed to transmute that now. So my first steps were to they don't speak English, so I got a few friends that speak Bahasa Indonesian to go speak to them and to find out, how long is this going to be? And they said it could be up to a month. And that's just not going to work for us. And then we explored all these different options, and then we tried to get support and we tried to get help, and nothing was working. In fact, it was just creating more problems and more drama. And then I was like, last night I was crying and I was like, oh my gosh, like felt like a failure because I found the house and that I'd let down my friends that had moved in with me, and I just felt like I'd done them bad. And also one of our sisters was moving out and we needed to fill the room. Like, how will we fill the other room now? And being scared I was going to be left alone, and also about to come on my period, so everything was heightened, and we just had the full moon, and everything was heightened, and I was being extremely dramatic, and that's okay. And I quickly saw what was going on. I saw that my inner child was feeling abandoned and needed love, and then I had this aha moment. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm a selfish bitch. Right now there's a pandemic in Bali. People have no money, and these guys next door have got a job in to build a joglo, which is like a transportable like home, a little small house. And here is me, this selfish person that's living in their country, being like, oh, it's a bit noisy. Can you imagine, like, with the language barrier and all of those things, how that must feel for them? They probably feel like I really do not care. There's no compassion, no love. And I wonder if I had have gone in with like a different approach, with my frequency, with that mindset and that awareness, if things would have been different. I made a video not long ago about trauma after I was mugged here in Bali. I was mugged on my motorbike and my phone was stolen. And through that experience, I learned so much. It really empowered me to connect to the people here in Bali, empowered me to connect to the spirits here in Bali. I started learning about making offerings and all of that, and it was a beautiful, beautiful experience and such a blessing. And in this experience, there's been more blessings. It's been like, like really stepping into my heart of more love. And knowing that because I wasn't in that frequency, that's why it went on longer. So I've decided that tomorrow I'm going to organize to buy them some form of gift, whether it's food or a present, to say like, I'm really sorry, like I'm really happy you have this work. I'm happy you have abundance and this brings me joy. And to also learn to make peace with the noise, because these things are always going to happen. There's always going to be something. Next week, they could put a bunch of roosters next to the house, or they could start building another property. There's a lot of rice fields around me. Like, there's so many things that we cannot control. And when we can just be like, this is out of my control right now, and we can do our best to not attract these experiences. But I really feel when we're in more of that surrender state and loving state, these things just are less likely to happen. And when they do, if we don't allow them to impact us, it's not going to happen so much. And the reason for that is we attract things based on where our energy is focused. There's a saying, energy goes where attention flows. So if we're constantly focusing on these negatives, it's so noisy, it feels so noisy right now, this is annoying, we're just going to attract more of that. And I know it's a little bit over exaggerated to be like, I don't hear any noise right now and I'm completely happy about this. Well, no, that's not realistic. But it is a shift of frequency, being like, wow, these people are making money, I'm really happy for them. It's a little bit disruptive for me, but maybe I am being guided elsewhere right now. Maybe I should be not working so much right now. Maybe I need to take a break, or maybe I should go work in a cafe, and maybe I'll meet someone amazing. When we're in this flow of just trusting that the universe is giving us everything we need and just allowing it to take us as opposed to fighting it, it really is magical. So this is what I'm experiencing right now. I'm like, okay, there's noise. What can I do? What can I do differently? Where am I being guided? Where am I being shifted? And getting out of this, there's noise, I'm annoyed, I'm pissed off, and being like, how do I want to feel? What do I desire? What do I want to manifest? And like feeling that in my body and being like, how does it feel when it's quiet and peaceful and I'm being productive and I'm serving my beautiful clients? And how does that feel in my body? It feels yummy and calming and soft. And when I'm in this frequency, that's when it will happen. And that's the power of manifestation. That's how we manifest, is feeling how we want to feel. By simply like saying, I want this. I want quiet. It's not the same as I feel really quiet right now. You're getting yourself in a frequency and you're putting energy. That's the saying, energy goes where attention flows. So I'm focusing attention on the feeling I want to create in my body, and that's when it's going to manifest. Super powerful, seems simple, but it works. I've seen this happen so much, and it works the opposite way. So if you're constantly focusing your attention on all these negative things, you're just creating more of that. If you're like, it feels shit, it doesn't feel good, it's okay that you feel that way, but it's like shifting yourself out of that. Like, it's normal to feel and it's important to feel. Like, there's a fine line here between bypassing and pulling yourself into alignment. It's being like, there's this thing here. Like, I feel sad that there's noise. Like, what came up for me was I felt sad there was noise, and I felt like I'd let down my housemates. I felt like I made a poor choice with my intuition at first. And I was like, I'm a bad person. Like, I'm really in tune with my intuition. How did this happen? It's like, it's okay. It's okay. Let's like pull ourselves out of that and be like, yeah, I am an intuitive being, and I created this in my reality, and taking ownership for that and being like, okay, there's some lessons to be learned here. And I choose to learn from them and grow from them. I'm not going to fight them. I'm not going to run away from them. I'm not going to hide from them. But yeah, and really feeling the feeling, like not just jumping straight into like, bypassing. So feeling like, I feel icky and I feel sad, and allowing yourself to fully feel that, because within that there will be expansion. When you go into really feeling the pain in your body, there will be this moment of like, and it almost feels orgasmic and pleasurable to be like, yes, like letting it go and rising like a lotus flower out of that. And this is what I visualize often. Sometimes I'll punch pillows and I'll be like, rah, 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 and moving the energy through. So yeah, it's important to always feel the energy, get it out of your body in some way, like punch stuff, scream, dance. I love to stomp my feet and dance. I've got a Kali playlist. If you don't know Kali, she's one of the goddesses that helps you really like let it out. She's like the goddess of, I think it's destruction, I forget, but like she's just like, get it out, and she just helps you transmute the energy. And I stomp, and she's like this dark, I think she's blue, and she's got this long tongue. She's like and just like really just make noise and move your body and really just and get it out. And then you feel this moment of like, and it just releases. And then you can come back, and then you can move into that feeling of what you want to feel. And it's super, super, super powerful. I cannot recommend it enough. So yeah, I hope my little story and my experience has given you some form of inspiration. It's really alive for me right now, and I just like love how life is my teacher. It's continually giving me opportunities to grow, especially right now. I just feel like it's upgrade after upgrade, but it's often like death, rebirth, death, rebirth. I am in a Pluto cycle right now. I'm about halfway through it, so that's very common. But life is a cycle, it's a spiral, death and rebirth. And when we allow ourselves to die, we can be reborn. But if we're constantly holding on to this part of ourselves that's no longer true or no longer feels good, then we're not going to have that rebirth experience. So sometimes it's like, let it go, let it die, and then it will come back. And it's always the way. It's the way nature works. The sun sets, the moon rises every day. That's nature. So yeah. Life is so glorious and magical. When we can see that there is a gift in every single moment, every single bad thing that happens to us is also a blessing, because we cannot have good without bad. So yeah, my loves, sending you so much love. If you need any support, you know I'm always here. Please reach out and book a call or ask me about any of my programs that can help you rise into this alignment. So much love. Have a beautiful day.